Okay, so we are officially on our last tutorial video on how to make a simple budget. If you're still with me, thanks for hanging in there. But this last section is really important because what we're going to do is look at the savings that we have, the difference between the total amount of income we have every month and the total expenses. And we're going to figure out how to allocate this. And this will be our last video for this series. So let's get right to it. So the last and final step here is to take what's left over after our monthly expenses are all paid and allocate this savings so that we know where all of the money is going. We basically want to put it in different buckets and we want to use a percentage figure in order to determine how much should go in each bucket. This is going to vary by each individual person's specific circumstance. So don't think that what I'm doing here is what you have to do. I'm just using this as an example. So what I want to always make sure is that I have enough money in my savings account, in my cash reserves, just so in case something happens, in case an emergency comes up, I know that I've got the money there to be able to handle that. So what I'm going to do is, again, I always do this 2 rows below the savings line. I'm just going to type in, or I'm sorry, click in B22. I'm going to type cash reserves and tab. And then for the sake of this example, I'm going to assume that I'm going to save 15% of what's left over in our savings after paying, again, after paying all of our expenses. So I'm going to type 0.15 for 15%. And then next, I'm going to assume that I'm saving for a new car. And so I just type new car here and tab over. And for this, I'm going to put 40% of my savings aside for that new car. So 0.4 for 40%. And then I want to be able to use some of the money to spend on myself. I want to be able to hang out with friends, go out to dinner, just be social. So what I am going to list here is just entertainment. And for this example, I'm just going to assume 30%. And then the last item I have here is I'm big on investments. This channel is big on investments. I'm going to always try to put some money into investments. So I'm going to type investments here, tab over, and I'm going to type 0.15 and enter. And what I want to do is come here and we're going to, again, use the sum function. And what we want to make sure is that we're going to, when we sum all of these together, they equal to 1. And if you come up here, you can actually expand the decimal place. But if it's not equaling 1, that means that you're not using 100% of your savings. You're not allocating 100% of your savings. There's some money left over that's really, you don't know where it's going. So we always want to make sure that this equals 1. And then what we want to do, if we just want to make it easier to kind of understand that these are percentages, we can highlight all of these cells, come up here where it says, or where it has the percentage sign, and we can just click percent. And again, if you want, you can expand the decimal points. I'm just going to leave it with 1. And we're done as far as determining our percentages for each of these items. So now what we want to do is take these percentages of our total savings and put them over in the next column, which is column D. And the way we're going to do that is, again, we're going to create an Excel formula for ourselves, or an Excel function, if you will, our own customized Excel function. So if we type equal, we're going to click on savings, and then we're going to click the asterisk on our keyboard. And then we're going to click on the percentage for that particular item and then enter. And it's going to calculate 15% of what our savings is. And we're just going to do that for each item. So let's do that now. So equals, and then click on our savings, and then click on the asterisk. You can click Shift F8, and then we're going to click on that particular percentage, and then enter. And again, do the same thing for entertainment. So equals, savings, asterisk. Asterisk is the same thing as multiplying. And then we just click on the percentage and then enter. And finally, we'll do investments. So we'll do equals, savings, type that asterisk, click on the percentage amount, and then enter. And that's going to tell you how much you should be allocating to each of these items here. What I like to do is I like to have different bank accounts for each one of these things. That way I know it's all going to the appropriate place. And again, I'm just going to expand this out here. And if you sum here, let's do this. We're going to add the underlying because, again, I'm a little bit OCD about it. If we add all of these together, again, using the sum feature, the sum function rather, it should equal what we have with the savings. So we're just going to, again, click and highlight and drag down, close our brackets, and hit enter. And it does. So we get 1850 and we have 1850. So we've allocated all of our savings. We've given a place for it to go. And we've kind of split it up so that we know that we're covering different areas. Now, I mentioned before about, if I don't have enough cash in savings to where I feel comfortable, or enough cash and cash reserves, what I do is I personally cut down on these things drastically, if not entirely. So I might even just do 0 and then 100% until I get my cash reserves level until I get my cash reserves to a level where I feel comfortable. Some people might not like to do that. I'm not having enough money in cash reserves just gives me anxiety. So that's just kind of how I play things. But it's up to you. If you want to change these figures and mess with them a little bit, you'll get a feel for what you want to do with your money. That's kind of the purpose of this budget. Is it tells you how it lays out your finances for you, and it gives you different options. Once you get comfortable using Excel, you can change these numbers around and then find what works for you. So if you're still with me, again, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you hanging on and watching this series with me. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, like and subscribe. And again, appreciate you taking a look at this series, and I hope to hear from you soon.